Knew all about the alien agenda. I'll explain that in a few minutes. The large alien grays had been encamped there for, as best as believed possible, about 400 or 500 years. Had been one of their internal bases. And we'd drilled holes right on top of it.
Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of The Search For. I'm Dan Collier and I'm your host on this adventure. Today we are looking at the possibility of aliens living underground. This is quite a compelling story and something we must consider and look at given all the hype that goes on around this subject. Now, a lot of people, when considering this, cannot quite explain it through their traditional Christian values that they have been taught in regular mainstream churches. However, when you go and take a look at Scripture and start looking into this, there is some references. Today, we are going to look at an old video clip of a man named Phil Schneider, who claimed to be an engineer working for the government in building underground bases and having encounters with alien beings that they had a battle with, and subsequently soldiers died and he himself was injured, losing some of his fingers and having his chest and stomach area blown apart by some type of radioactive plasma weapon. I'm not sure. I wasn't there. So he does have fingers missing. He does have quite compelling story, and he is very informed about geological structures and the information that he shares.
Now, another thing I want to reach to you is that during the unbelievable part, I was involved in building another base in Mexico, which is Los Alamos Laboratory. It's a biological laboratory. On the southwest part of the Archuleta Mesa, we built an underground facility, a better part of 3 cubic miles hollowed out underground. Then to the southwest of that, we were in the process of the early stages of building. We drilled 4 large tunnel-like holes. Some of them ran 2.5 miles under the surface. At that time, number of the original wells or drilling machines that were used were at the rate of 2 miles a day. It was fairly rapid. The equipment kept coming up broken. So we wanted to go down and wanted to send somebody down there, a human observer, or human observers in this case, to find out what was going on. Well, to our total surprise, first of all, the government knew all about it. They didn't tell anybody. When I saw Green Beret and Black Beret people encamped inside of our geologist camp, I knew something was up. The gig was up. First of all, I knew all about the alien agenda. I'll explain that in a few minutes. The large alien grays had been encamped there for, as best as believed possible, about 400 or 500 years. Had been one of their internal bases. And we'd drilled holes right on top of it. All the stinking air, all the black sooty air came right out as soon as the first hole was sunk, and all this soot came up, and well, that's when all the hell broke loose, really, all started. Anyway, after we drilled all 4 holes, it took about 2 days to drill all 4 of them. And when you build an underground base, you drill 4 basic holes, and then you build all stopes or cross-member holes across, and then you use blasting equipment, and special blasting equipment by the analyzation of the rock formation. And you literally blast out or tunnel out or deflagrate or melt rock out to build the large rooms that are required for this underground base. Well, in this process, I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and about from me to this elderly woman here in the front was sitting a 7-foot-tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The person the entity was absolutely horrible. I didn't waste any time to reach for my pistol. At that time, as an engineer, I didn't have time to carry all the folder, all of one of these big The submachine guns that all the sea spray and the yellow fruit and the perimeter and inner perimeter security people carried. I carried a little Walter PPK pistol with a 9-shot clip. This was in late August of 1979. Now, you got a regular clothes on, plus you're in a spacesuit environment, and you're reaching for a gun. It's the easiest thing to do, and then to pop a clip in it and start shooting. And I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die. However, in the process, one of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish. And burnt my fingers right off of me. And it was some form of electrical force, because the kind of being hit by a lightning bolt burned all my toenails off of me. Crispy crittered my left foot, burnt the shoe right off of me. Remember, it was the smoking remains, and I'm still conscious, but in and out of, I didn't remember much. And there was a Green Beret that was right behind me that risked his life. In fact, he died. But he risked his life. He shoved me back in the basket and hit the button and took me up. And I wouldn't be alive talking to you today if it wasn't for him. I'm forever indebted. He lost his life. 66 Secret Service agents, Green Berets, Black Berets, crack troops lost their lives because the United States government lied, did not tell us anything about the alien threat. There's a war underneath there, and I'm talking dead serious. It's been going on since that time. Since late August of 1979, our military, the Russian military, basically the militaries of the world, have been in constant conflict with the outer space alien. Small gray, the large gray, the reptilians, the whole thing. There are 11 distinct races of aliens. 2 are benevolent. 1 had to leave here in a hurry because their world is under attack, both on the surface as well as underground there, the Pleiadians. They're familiar. Maybe some of you are familiar with that. Would some of you raise your hands who've heard of Billy Meyer and some of the, very good, about half the group. Well, Billy Meyer is one of these lucky people that they figured, well, he's kind of a disciple, we'll show him everything. Well, these are the benevolent aliens, and they've been here helping us. In fact, I have a picture, let me reach for it here. I have a picture of one of the aliens been working for the United States Pentagon for the last 58 years. His name is Val Valiant, right here. There's my father in the background.
Now, what we are looking at from a perspective of religion, we do know in the Bible it talks about the Watchers. These are beings that came down to earth, landed on Mount Hermon, and then from there went down, violated their oaths not to interfere with humans, and took for themselves wives. The bizarre thing you also read in the book of Enoch and in the Bible is about these entities. They always call them terms of fallen, but these entities taught men and mankind all the things that God did not wish man to learn at that time, such as types of medicine, pharmakeia. They taught them how to make weapons and conduct warfare. They taught them how to do magic and conduct spells, the things the Bible considers forbidden. And these angels taught them also to their wives, which we believe why they were condemned was because they became witches. Not like the witches we see nowadays, but we're talking high magic witches with all knowledge of how the universe and the place we live works. So, and these fallen angels had they had sons, and we know they must have had daughters as well, but we only know about the sons. They were called the giants or mighty men. And there are even books that were called the Book of the Giants, the War of the Giants, stories and such never mentioned in mainstream church.
Actual proof, positive, that this occurred in 1946. This military knew all about flying discs, and flying disc technology as early as 1933. Of course, remember the Germans did too, the Nazi Germans, Hitler and all their bunch of people. Now, it gets to the big question, If all this has been hidden from us, everybody says, well, where's the proof? I've got some of the proof laying on the table. A lot of you probably are totally skeptical. They say, well, I could be anything. In my hand here, I have a piece of what's called corbamite. It's the heaviest element in the world. Element 140. This piece of material weighs 15 ounces. 3.5 times the weight of uranium. It cannot be made to emit gamma rays. It cannot be isotoped. It is totally stable. It is used in all stealth aircraft and all Phoenix-class submarines. When combined with other alien elements, it is impregnable. It cannot be melted with charged particle beam weapon. When properly combined in secretive compounds, it can withstand temperatures in excess of 10 million degrees Fahrenheit. It is grown by aliens who have given a good... The other side of the alien question is, some of these aliens have broken off from their mainstream and said, we're not getting a fair shake, and so this is what happens. And I'm talking about the alien grays. Some of them broken away. They're talking about not being popular. This particular piece of metal is an amazing piece of technology. It's capable of being grown in 15 different crystal systems. Now, I'm a geologist, and I, prior to 15 or 20 years ago, knew of only 6 crystal systems. There's actually 15 if you count all the alien metals. Now, this is only element 140. If you look at the local periodic table in your local library, it says 104. Somewhere down the line, we've been lied to and we've been cheated. What we have to do is we have to literally ask for the truth. If we cannot ask for the truth, we must demand the truth. We must take it before courts of law and common law systems, and we must demand it. If we cannot do this, our founding fathers told us the only thing left is to overthrow, get the parasites out. I don't advocate overthrow, but it does look like this may be the only alternative. Now, I'm going to casually mention to you something that's very scary indeed, and tell you what the alien agenda is. And it's going to sound very familiar. The alien agenda is the complete takeover of this planet, the killing off of 5, 6 to 7/8 of the world's population by the year 2029. U.S. military has known about this for 45 years. They've told no one. As far as I know, I'm the only person standing before a crowd talking about the alien agenda, secretively. Okay, back in 1954, I'll give you a quick overview. There was the Greada 1954 treaty where Eisenhower signed a pact with the known alien species of the time, there were 3 at the time, and said that we're going to deal in high technology, but you can take a few head of cattle and a few human beings and you can experiment on them. It's unthinkable. It's stuff straight out of the Nazi death camps, and I'm kidding you not, it's plain BS, and it's got to stop. Now, the Greada 1954 treaty had been violated. After a great firefight, the alien-human war, I am the only living survivor talking about it worldwide at all. Only one. The other 2 are in nursing homes in Canada, and the Canadian government refuses to allow any U.S. people, including myself, to talk to them, because they are afraid of kidnapping. Probably the reason I got shot to pieces and 11 attempts on my life is I am a direct threat to the entire system. The New World Order, the alien agenda is one and the same. It's world takeover and the decimation of the population of this planet. Now, I'm going to tell you something a little bit different about the alien species. The bad news ones, there are 9 races of alien populations. To look at a human being as a bag of food. They're not cannibals. They don't eat the flesh and the bones and all that kind of stuff. They use the glandular secretions of animals and human beings as a mixture of the vitamins for their food. They get high off of our adrenal gland substances called adrenochrome. So something like cocaine to them. Now, what can we do about it? Right now, if we do nothing, we can do nothing about it, and it'll continue to go on. Basically, we'll be led in the dark, and you'll keep seeing more and more people disappear. Right now, there's 100,000 children totally unaccountable through FBI archives, cannot be traced anywhere. They haven't been murdered. Nobody's ever seen them. I think they're hauled underneath in some of these bases, and they are summarily done away with, and they are literally eaten. Now, that is a scary thing indeed. And I'm not asking you to believe me in total. I am asking you to seriously do enough homework that you can go out in through the public record, through the congressional records, find out who's voting for what, and go from there.
These are quite bizarre things indeed, and they may go unanswerable. But when we look at things like underground bases or the existence of entities living underground, we must remember the Bible does mention places like Sheol, or that Abraham And the people who died before Jesus arrived lived in the place in like Middle Earth, we would say, in which Jesus ascended to and set them free. So it is bizarre looking into this. We do know there are rumors and information about Admiral Byrd, one of America's most decorated admirals, who claimed that his plane was captured on a trip trying to explore and discover the North Pole, that he was captured and taken into an underground city by beings with higher technology. Now, also was a trip that, or an expedition that Admiral Byrd was sent on by the U.S. government called Operation High Jump, in which the fleet that was sent was attacked and nearly destroyed by superior alien technology, be it advanced Nazi systems or actual alien technology of beings living somewhere in the Antarctic. Rumors do go around saying that it's quite bizarre that the governments of the world have military ships guarding the average person from going to the Antarctic and exploring without permission. This is bizarre, of course. But looking into this story, we do not know, because I did not personally know Phil Schneider. His wife, his ex-wife, claims he was telling the truth about his incidents. There are rumors that these stories were not true, or that possibly Phil Schneider was schizophrenic. But we do know that disinformation tactics on the public to discredit stories exist in extreme high measures. And your past can be altered, your health records can be altered, all things can be altered to where trying to disseminate the truth can be quite difficult. But when it comes to the matter of Christianity or religious people and alien entities of which they were called, in the Bible, we look at them and they are called angels, and we also have the spirit beings called demons. So when we're looking at matters like this, we may just rename what was called angels or fallen angels, rename them as aliens in the secular realm, because I believe what we're dealing with are entities. And when we get into realms like movies, where we watch things like Thor, or we see movies like Star Wars, we believe they are esoteric ways of telling the stories of angels or fallen angels, or what the Greeks may have called the gods. In this type of realm, it is very possible that these beings exist, but what we're looking at is the names being changed, such as Ancient Aliens on the History Channel. They do not want the religious aspect or the ties to things like Christianity actually having mentioned these things thousands of years ago in their writings. We also can find ancient paintings from what we call the Middle Ages, or they said is the Dark Ages, of very odd paintings with UFOs in them, creatures flying in the heavens in the background, things that look exactly like UFOs and saucers we see nowadays. We see this from Japan to Holland to Spain to wherever we find these ancient paintings or cave drawings or whatever sculptures we find, oddities of these things of higher intelligence. Are they living underground? Were they living on the surface at one time? Who built these ancient megalithic structures that supposedly we as humans didn't have the ability to build? These are quite extreme questions we must look into, but they are very interesting. On the second half of this show, which you can find in the Truth Council, we can go into further detail and talk about the things we are not allowed to talk about on censored platforms like this. We ask you, if you'd like to join us, please come over to the Truth Council, where you can have insider secrets, delve into information and share things without trolls or bots censoring you.
All right, so you've made it this far, which means you're the kind of person who gets it. You're here for the truth, not the fluff. And let me tell you, what we've got lined up in the second half of this episode inside the Truth Council, it's stuff we can't share on these censored platforms. You know the drill. Yeah, that kind of information, the stuff that'll make your jaw drop. But we've got to keep it on the down low. And the only way to access it is you got to come over to the Truth Council. Now, let me tell you why it's worth it. See, inside the Truth Council, we're all about giving you the insider secrets, the things nobody else will talk about, and the tools to protect yourself from the insanity that's out there. And we know all about that craziness. Whether it's your health, wealth, or just understanding what the heck is going on with all these government power grabs and these NGOs, just the craziness that's going on out there. And look, the New World Order, yeah, they want us all broke, eating bugs, and smiling about it. But over at the Truth Council, we're not signing up for that. We've got killer courses lined up, like thousands of dollars worth of stuff on how to protect yourself, make more money, and even break free from the insanity and the nonsense they're pushing on us. And the best part, you're not doing it alone. You're part of a family, a group that's with you, believes you, and actually cares. So here's the deal. I've got some enticing for you. We're not just giving you access to the Truth Council, okay? You're getting a $2,500 course on the house just to start. It's called Beyond Boundaries. And it's going to show you how to think without limits and unlock insane potential in your life. Yes, we used to teach this course for $2,500, giving it to you for free just for signing up, because I want you on the right track. I want you powerful, I want you strong, and I want you out there making a difference. So, get this now. For less than the price of a taco salad, seriously, you're going to be in. You get the courses, and there's a lot of them, the insider information, a group that's got your back, and the tools to beat the system trying to crush us. I got another bonus for you. If you sign up right now as one of the founding members, because this is brand new, I'm going to give you a free digital download of the most downloaded course this year. It's called Reason to Believe, and I'm sure most of you have heard of it by now. When you sign up, you're going to get a free copy of this book, and it will blow your mind. So click the link, jump in now, and let's get you access to the real truth. See you inside. You'll get the second part of this series, like all of them, where we really go into the deep stuff, where the censors here and the purple-haired people and the normies and the woke won't like what we're talking about. And that's why, for the price of a taco salad or less, we'll filter them out and you'll be in.